Hello again. In this video, we're just going to look at a couple of the functions of the interface. So you can see our expander interface here, and obviously our diagnostic tool, loop tester, next door. So this is going to be essentially your control panel, but at the moment it's just doing a job of monitoring the devices that are on the loop. So let's have a look through some of the menus in the interface. So we this is the front screen that we would normally see. So we've got devices 5, no alarms, no faults. Now, if we were to take the top off a detector base or cause a temper fault or anything like that, we'll get a fault condition on here, and obviously you can see it go into fault on the diagnostic tool. And we can find more information out about that fault if we want to. So if we go into device status, that will show us all our devices on the loop. So address 1 is an MCP, address 2 is a sound, address 3 is a sounder, sorry. Address 4 is our optical detector. Address 5 and 6 are our combined units. Address 8 is our input-output unit. Okay. So, and address 16 is the interface itself, which has a case tamper. So if we just go back to our detector, that is in fault at the moment, because normally it would have an L to show everything's fine. If we cause a fault, then we get a exclamation mark. If we click on the button to look at a bit more information, it will tell us the fault status of the device, and it says head missing. So if we put the head back on, we've now got no faults present. If we take the base off, we get a temper fault. So we've got no faults present again. You've also got alarm status, so no alarms present. Battery level, so we can have a look at the battery level. Pack 1 is okay, pack 2 is okay. The little icon that's next to the battery is showing us which battery pack it's currently using. So at the moment it's using pack 1. These icons aren't exact measurements of the battery. They will show us a full battery in most cases. If that battery icon is half full, then that would be the 30-day warning of the detector that the batteries are going to run out, and you would get an information for that in the main panel. And if that was completely empty, then obviously our batteries are completely gone, and we would get a signal for that as well. We can look at the signal level on the devices. So the signal level shows us channel 1, loop interface, device into loop interface is 100%. Channel 2, because there's 2 channels that it uses, and again it's the device into the loop interface is 100%. Channel 1 loop interface out to the device is 90, and channel 2 loop interface out to the device is 100. So there's 4 figures there that we're interested in. The first 2 figures change every 5 minutes, or within every 5 minutes. Every time the device checks in, it will update its signal level. And the 2 other figures, the loop interface out to the device, will only change every several hours or so. So if we're lining up devices, then we might use this function, which is manual update. So if we're trying to get a device to give a good signal, we might want to move it about on the ceiling a bit. And if we wanted to update the second 2 numbers, we could press manual update, go back to signal level, and the second 2 numbers would be slightly different. So in this case, they've changed to 80. So it's not such a good position. I might move it again to get a better signal. So if we go back to signal level, we can see that we've got 2 channels. So we've got channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 1 is 100%, channel 2 is 90, and channel 3 is 10%. the ident code of the device, and the software version of the device. Okay, so that's all the information for the optical detector. Obviously we've got the combined detector as well, fault status, all the same stuff in here, battery level, signal level, manual update, ID code. This does have an extra one which tells us what detector's on top of the combined unit, which is a heat detector in this case. I/O unit, we've had a bit of a look at that already. So that's all the information in device status. Add new device we've looked at. Remove device. If you click on that, it will give you a list of ID codes. It doesn't give you the detector's address. It tells you the position that you logged it onto the interface. So those numbers at the beginning is the number that you logged it onto the interface. If you take a device away from site or power it down, you must remove it from the interface. Otherwise you will get a fault on the front screen. And if you then come to try and add it back on again, it won't let you add it back on because the information's already in the memory of the interface. So anything you take off site, anything you power down, physically remove it from the interface is the advice. Interface status, you click on there, you've got the fault status of the interface. Well, at the moment we've got a case tamper because we've got the lid off. Background noise level, you click on there, you've got noise levels for channel 1 and channel 2. The higher the background noise level, the worse the signals will be that are coming into the unit. So say you had 50-60% background noise, that would affect the signals that are coming into the unit, and that you may get faults because of that. So obviously the best signal is 0, but anything up to about 50% is probably okay, although I would recommend that you try and get it as close to 0 as you can. Fast test. If you click on fast test, it will tell you you can start a fast test. It will give you various timeouts, 1 minute, 4 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes and half an hour. I always click 1 minute just to demonstrate. It will start counting down, and all your detectors that are connected to that interface will begin to flash. So the LEDs start to flash on these devices. If you now test them, they will go into alarm much quicker than in normal operation. So in normal operation, they'll take maybe 30-40 seconds to activate. In fast test, they'll go in under 10 seconds. So it's always a good option. Every time you get a detector goes into alarm, the timer will restart. So you might want to put it to 4 minutes maybe, so that just in case someone speaks to you when you're walking around doing your testing, and then obviously it will start again the 4 minutes once you've activated a detector. Once the timer runs out, the devices will then drop out of fast test. Fast test is only related to the devices that are attached to that interface, nothing else. You've also got the ID code of the interface, the software version of the interface itself. And then the last thing on the menu is the radio channels, which you can only look at the currently used. So channel 16 and 32 is what we set it to in the beginning.